All right, we're here with Professor Leo Vieira. We got the World Championships coming up in a couple weeks. You guys are doing some training right now. Why don't you just talk about how the World's preparation's been going so far?
Yeah, the worst preparation I think takes the whole year, right? So we never act like we never stop, but definitely it's last month, like the last 8 weeks. That's when it be more consistently because after like we hadn't the headquarters get people from every place in the world. So after some people after the European Championship, they come to US. Some people after the Brasileiro, the national in Brazil, they come to US. So so the camp it starts like a long time ago, 8 weeks. But right now, like the last 2 weeks after the nationals in Brazil, and for the next two, that's when the intensity will be very strong.
So you do have a lot of lower belts who are incredibly talented, who are here right now, about to compete at the Worlds, and a lot of them are part of a social project, and you also have another project that you work with some color belts in. So could you take some time to explain those projects and kind of the goal of what you're trying to do with them?
Yeah, it's size start with the athletes, and I was one of these kids. I was one of these kids back in the time that I have no money to train in Jiu-Jitsu, and my professor, Romero, was the one that gave me the opportunity to be training, right? So that's just the way that I also I can give back. Also grew up in my family. I always learned from my father and my mother to how to help others. My father and my mother was the oldest from their family. So my mom family with 20 kids, 20 brothers and sisters. My father 11 brothers and sisters. Bro, I have so much cousins. So it's crazy. But it's and the funny thing, so our family was one of those helper inside the family. So I grew up watching always my parents support no matter what their families. So because of that, so I always have this inner voice to support and help people. I don't want to help people. I just know what to do in my life. When I decide to Jiu-Jitsu, okay, so be Jiu-Jitsu and help people. And that's the way that I use. So CheckMat's today became this network that we use our resource with affiliations and uniforms and all the profit that we can have with license and with Jiu-Jitsu. So we invest in young athletes. So we give opportunities to everybody, even for those that by performance. So you choose of course IBJJF, those top competition, the Grand Slam tournaments. So everybody, all the adults to brown belt, because we expect the black belt, they have their own sponsor. So until brown belt, we you're still amateur. So we support them travel to US, have some part or all the expenses pay. So if you adult blue, juvenile to adult brown belt. So that's but beside this, we have a house, a fighting house that we call Rising Star Project that we have with the athletes. And Jansen was one of the first kids that we bring to US with this project 5 years ago. So we still keeping this project. The project changed a little bit. Right now we have in Curitiba. So in Curitiba we have a house for 20 kids. So all the kids is 16, 17, and 18. Most of blue belts, and they have been as a every regular job, 6-8 hours per day, like a training class, training. And the studying in school, and I'm sorry. So we have this project in Curitiba, which is we have a big house we can accommodate comfortable 20 kids. So we have 20 kids from 16 to 19 years old. Most of the kids are blue belt. And that's what we have a Sebastian running the project, because he's in Curitiba, close to our headquarters in Brazil, which is in Curitiba also. So over there they have a 6 to 8 hours training Jiu-Jitsu, learning like a English class, but most like a training Jiu-Jitsu a lot, and like getting all the expenses, like of course food, traveling, everything paid by the gym. And for those that performance even better, they get an opportunity to come here to US, compete, training. So the whole idea that we have like a really, honestly, we have a really like a kind of business plan for those athletes. You know, like we kept them in Curitiba and Brazil to brown belt. So blue and purple belt, they travel so much to Brazil to learn English and training and get experience to compete, right? Blue and purple belt. When they become a brown belt, like that's when we apply for they change their status for his stay longer in US. And we expect for the brown and black belt, then they became like a very good name. That's what we already have like in different waves. Because the first wave was Jansen, so then we have like a waves that have been following after him.
That's amazing. And you said Jansen was part of that project. Obviously, it's proving the success of it. And you were telling us before we started recording a little bit how a lot of times you partner up some of those kids with a high-level black belt. So can you tell us about Jansen's story through that program and who he was part of?
Yeah, you know, like Jansen was something that I started I want to build a house, you know, like there are a lot of details that is hard to put in just one interview, because you can break it down in a lot of different things, because it's so much things that attach to as a detail. But as a general way to work, like 5-6 years ago, like Jansen was 16 when he came first. I want to have like some athletes I want to keep more close to me, because the idea is like Bochecha was like looking to retirement, and I was looking, okay, who's gonna be the next Bochecha? We're not gonna have a next Bochecha, but we have to build the next athlete. So and then like you say, okay, Jansen, I want to build Jansen. I don't want people be like copying others. Everybody has their own patch, but like we already have a Bochecha in the gym, and we know how to build the athlete. So let's just like use this protocol to multiply other athletes. So we start like with this project to that's what we run in Curitiba. Jansen was the first one to come here. So he was a young blue belt. Bochecha was already a black belt. And every time that those kids, they come here, we take like some of those like black belts to be responsible for those young kids blue belt. So Bochecha was the one that is responsible for Jansen. So he's the guy who say, hey, here in California, we have to walk with this kind of clothing. You cannot do this, or you do like educate like a similar thing, or learning English, or teaching him English. But the most important also, like when during the match, training with them. So his game is very similar as your game. So we match like the personality, but also like we match like those blue belt and black belt, like the game, and they can be developing so much. So right now, like Jansen is taking care of Kellison, and they're because Jansen was the one that had been support, but now he's the black belt right now who had you have to take care of Kellison, so you respond for Kellison, be every day on the mat, call him to training, because the blue belt doesn't call black belts to training. So that's why also is the way that we say, hey, you're responsible, call him every day, call him to training. Keeping him as close to you as a group. It's like a mentoring, you know, like everybody need like somebody to, you know, guiding mentoring.
That's an amazing program.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk a little bit more about Jansen. He just went to Brazil. He won Brasileiro. He had to take a little bit of break from competition from his injury from Worlds last year, but he looked amazing at Brasileiro. Also did, I believe, the OC Open. Now he's getting ready for Worlds. So what are your expectations for Jansen for the Worlds this year, 2025?
Yeah, honestly, I focus so much in blue belts. Black belts, they already know what they have to do. If they don't do it, it's because they don't want to, right? So, but last year, I challenged Jansen to fight open class. He fought open class because I want. I say, hey, I want you to fight the open class. I have something for you that I want you to challenge yourself. And he agreed and he fought. This time, I don't know. He didn't, it's his decision, it's not mine. I make that decision last year. So to this year will be his decision. He wants to fight his division, of course, like medium heavy. We haven't been talking about the open class yet, but I know like he have been like after his injury, and Jansen is the guy who always quiet, very quiet, like, and he training, he doesn't complain the pain. So I know he have been taking the injury for a longer time. So it was good he make a big break in the transition between like you don't have to compete every single tournament. You just have to learn how to train in camp and compete in the most important competition. So he's also in this process to learn. Otherwise, if I let him, he wants to compete every single tournament. Every month he wants to compete. Every weekend. I say, bro, you don't have. Oh, but I have to get ready to. I say, bro, you're gonna be ready. You don't have to be training every single competition. You don't have to compete every. So he's learning this process, how to choose careful which tournament he's have to do it. He also focuses a lot in the super fights. That is some like others like a challenge that I want he try beside jiu-jitsu, but definitely like like he had been phenomenal athlete. Like anyone like he wants to push the jiu-jitsu, he has so much jiu-jitsu that I don't see nobody has more jiu-jitsu than him. Like if you open the game, go to scramble, like it's beautiful to see those fights, because he's the guy who always fight forward, like no back, no step back, and no stalling. It's nice to see his fight. It would be amazing to see him fight in the open class again. Yeah. It's tough because like I told yesterday actually, when we were talking, he didn't say anything. People ask me, hey, this Jansen is going to fight the open class. I say, I don't know. It's his decision. Last year was my decision. This week is his decision. Because the people fight the open class, he need to be tough. He need to be a man, bro. Like it's, because you need to sacrifice your division. He's medium heavy, So you need to sacrifice your divisions regarding to go for, because you have to fight the open class first. You must be very confident about your position in your bracket and your weight before you go to the open class. It's a big commitment, and I asked him to do it last time. This time he will choose.
I do have to ask you about one other CheckMat athlete. I know you have so many amazing ones competing at the Worlds, but Adam Morzinski has been on a crazy run. He won the Worlds last year, came back to, in 2025, won Europeans, Pans, and Brasileiro. So he's been on fire. So just tell me about like the evolution that you've seen in Adam and his jiu-jitsu, and just what you noticed that has like maybe changed that put him into that next level.
Like Adam was like I saw, like, it doesn't surprise me what Adam is doing, because I always saw how potential he was, but he never could have enough camp. So he always did his camp in Europe and his last week, a couple weeks here. So the local camp was never big enough to build the new Adam, right? So we had that conversation before. And that day, like a couple years ago, he said, okay, I'm gonna make a full camp for the Worlds over there. That's when it changed, because the camp, it's not the magic. It's not me or Lucas or Pancho or Buchecha or someone's gonna show something. But of course, this will change. You have someone that watching your game and give a little details. It's gonna change so much, but. That is a magic. When you have like those top athletes training every single day for a long period, those guys are gonna be amazing. So when Adam decided to make a full camp in California, so Jansen was his training partner. So Jansen and Adam was training like every single day in the morning, every single day in the evening. They was looking at each other and say, oh my God, I thought you're not coming. Like they became very friends, very like making jokes, but at the same time, they sharpen each other so much. And there's nobody gonna put more pressure so much in pass than Jansen will do for Adam training. Nobody gonna give us such a hard time in the guard that Adam will do for Jansen. So that was a very good. Combination. That's why it didn't surprise me everything what happened with Adam. So and he's such a young, like guy, like as a spirit, like he's master, but he's young, and he's still hungry, and he's gonna be making even more.
We'll do have one more question. We really appreciate your time. CheckMat always brings a huge team to the world.
Yes.
And always adds to the energy of the event.
Yeah.
I know you guys won the title. I believe it was 2021 when you won the team title. But can you just tell me about why you think it's so important to bring that team, to have the support for the athletes, and how that kind of fuels their performances?
You know, like, yeah, of course, like, because if you have to do something for yourself, you're gonna do halfway, and it will be enough. When things start to go struggling, you're gonna say, okay, it's enough. I don't need to run anymore. I run enough for today. But if you have to do something for bigger than you, you're gonna push over what you can. And sometimes what you can, it's not even expect you're gonna be surprised, right? So the energy that you see in every tournament is not something that we push, not something that we encourage. It just naturally. It's natural because of the energy that they have during the training camp. The way that they have over not just in the training camp, but the whole year in their own schools. Like if you go to one of our school, it will be exactly the same energy. It's people supporting others. We training hard and we support and we very in cheer. We're great. We loud and we like to support and like to help. And if you feel that, you can feel that pressure because you say, oh, I'm not fighting for myself. The medal is not for me, it's for the team. Like I cannot let them down, right? So I think we never, as a goal as a team, never was be the world champion. All the goal that we always will have is to have the energy. I don't care what we place in any tournament. What I care is if I fight, if I'm alone. So that's what I care. So you're never gonna see and I see sometimes that break my heart. Like I see sometimes some people competing, they win, you always have people in your corner. Sometimes you lose, you look, your coach is not even there. So that's never gonna happen. Because if that happens, that coach is not gonna be in the team. Because we are the opposite. So we are loud. So because it's not the result that we celebrate. We celebrate the process. We celebrate things that people don't see. Things that we don't put it on Instagram. So things that's our values. It's more important than the medals.
Thank you so much for your time. We really, really appreciate
Thanks.
it. We can't wait to watch all the CheckMat athletes competing at the Worlds. Thanks so much.
Thanks. Welcome. Thanks. So good. Great.